Good afternoon. My name is Greg Davis, and I would like to welcome you to the December 2024 CBS ArcSafe December Holiday Webinar. To get started, the first thing I want to give you is a basic safety message. As we get ready to go into one of the busiest driving weeks after the holiday season from Thanksgiving into going into next week, please everybody take your time to get there safely. When I was in the Air Force, we had people that were supposed to give briefings to everybody and look everybody in the eye to make sure you were going to take your time, especially if you were driving somewhere, to get home safely. And we had a few people that skipped those briefings and tragically died in accidents. I would prefer you to take your time and get home safely. And so what I want to do now is we're going to transition. We had a Rockwell automation fair that we participated in a little over a month ago, and we'd like to thank everybody for attending that. And today's products that we're going to be showing and going over are going to be some of the same ones you may or may not have seen if you got to attend that presentation. The first thing we're going to talk about is the ArcSafe 167. Now this deals with a specific type of Allen Bradley handle and how its operation is going to be. One of the things to note today is when you see stuff happen, if I'm using the ABL3, which I'll show you here in a second with this one, you're going to notice I got no spring that's going to hold the handle up. So unlike a true Bulletin 1500 medium voltage motor starter, it's not going to have the reaction to keep the spring up and keep the switch closed, so that when we go to actuate it, you're going to watch the handle fall back down. So the first thing, we're using the ArcSafe 1, or rather correction, the ArcSafe 167, the ArcSafe 1. I've got those turned on, and this has got our M18 Milwaukee battery in it. The switch is in the trip position right now, so we're going to touch the close button, hold it. We're going to trip it. Remember, the ArcSafe 1 can operate over 400 different types of remote switch actuators. So we'll turn this off now, and I'll take this off, and you'll just see how easy the system sets up in terms of it going on and going off. Okay, so this uses our switchable magnets. These are the locators that go around it, and that goes right on around the switch. Sometimes you have to move the switch handle just a little bit to get it on, but that's standard practice. Now, one of the things I'm going to say about the next one, we're going to be using the ABL3 here, and I'm going to grab it real quick. Is the this is the ABL3, and this uses the Milwaukee M18 battery. And so some of the things to notice about this, while this is a test panel, okay, there's a couple different door configurations that have bolts on the door which would interfere with the mounting of the ABL3. We have the ArcSafe 71C for those options. Okay, so we need pictures of the doors for these specific types of motor starters to be able to make sure you're going to get the right solution set for what you have in your facility. And I've never seen a facility have both different types of doors, but you know, it is a potential, and you could wind up needing both systems potentially, just to let you guys know. The ArcSafe battery, okay, yep. So we've got that on there. We hit our wake button right here, or correction, wake button's right there. And now we've got that on. We're going to go press enable, and we're going to hold on. And you can see it's going to fall down into open. It would do that. So that's how that's set up to operate. Okay. So we just go back to sleep, and then we can take our system off and we can set it down. Simple to mount, simple to take off, on, and operate, and set down. Now, the next product we have is what's called our Secure Connect. And I have to give Alan Bradley, Rockwell Automation, a lot of credit for coming up with an MCC bucket that has the stabs come on and off the bus versus just having to pull the bucket in and out. And Jonathan Whitney, our Chief of Engineering, is going to give you the presentation on this part.
Hi everybody, it's good to be with you today. We're just going to run through this Secure Connect operator. Again, as Greg mentioned, this is a design from Rockwell, so anything on the face right here, that's all going to be factory Rockwell. We developed a mounting system with the pins they've provided here. We're just operating this little 1/4 inch 90-degree turn right here. Just going to mount on our face, just like that, so it's really secure. We are plugging into another port up here that they have, and these are for switches showing the position of the shutters and the stabs connected, or the shutters open or close. You're going to plug that in. We're going to power on. And then we have a wired pin in here. It's about 30 foot. You can also do an extension for up to 60 feet for that as well. And then you're just going to operate here. This is going to be locked out. You also have indications on the remote here, the pendant, for stabs connected, shutters open. So we're going to operate the disconnect position. Make sure my tool is engaged. Oh, almost missed that. Disconnect. And so again, now we're going to see that it shows the stabs disconnected, shutters closed. So that means that now that is a okay door to open, and you're going to be so isolated from the bus. And again, you're just going to go back that way. Similar to some of our other products, we do have a wireless option on this as well. We turn this on to wireless. We have our wireless remote here that also has some indication for you. When you turn that on, when it's connected, you're going to see the light up right here. And similar to that, you still got your disconnect and connect operations. And again, and then off. But this is something that we developed with Alan Bradley, just as an OEM solution for them. Every now and then an OEM approaches us because we've been doing this for a long time, and we can develop something for them they can sell as a more cohesive, complete looking unit in their line as well. And we like to do that when we can. Thanks.
Now, one of the important things that we always ask our customers for are pictures. So as you tune in today, we want to say thank you, and if you have questions, please send those questions to info@cbsarcsafe.com, or you can call us at 1-877-472-3389. And that's important because, as I mentioned before, the pictures for a door here can tell us which is going to be the right solution set you may need for your facility. Okay. The next item we're going to have is our bucket extractor, and we developed this bucket extractor system back in April, May 2009 because a power company had a motor control center in a crusher house that was protected by a 5 kV breaker upstream. So there was no low voltage power distribution center, and I've seen this in many places in the United States, where you've got a whole room of low voltage motor control centers and the protection's on the high side of the transformer. And so those types of rooms, you either kill everything in the room to be able to work on one thing, or you get yourself a set of RSAs, RSKs, and bucket extractors to be able to work on these MCCs. So they told us we have to shut down the whole power plant to be able to work on this one MCC bucket. We said, you need a bucket extractor, and that's what we did. The one we've got today, and one of the things to talk about is this. Allen Bradley center line, Allen Bradley doesn't change its basic number designation from something they made back in the 1980s to something made today. They kept the 2100 series motor control center the same thing. So we need the pictures to know whether you have metal handles on this thing or whether you've got the current generation with the plastic handles on it. Okay, on the medium voltage motor starters, the legacy center line motor starter Bulletin 1500 has a metal handle versus the black and red plastic handle, and those are two different applications also. So this is why getting pictures from you is important so we can help make sure we're addressing what you actually have in your facility. So the bucket extractor, Brian's got a picture of me here. Can you see the magnet in the picture that I got my hand on? This one over here. Okay, so we have to have a couple of magnets that are going to hold the bucket extractor in place so that it's got push-pull reference. When a person stands in front of it, you're just standing there pulling stuff out. When the bucket extractors here, it has two magnets, in this case below, which gives it push-pull reference. So this tooling, there's an interlock here, is made to defeat the tooling, so we'll push that interlock over, we'll push our interlock here forward, and then we'll lock this in place so that it's going to be able to hold that latch defeat, which will allow the bucket to come out and go in. So now we'll step back out. I'm going to turn the remote on, hit arm the remote, and now this is remove A and install A. And that's all it takes to operate it once you've got it set up. Some of the important things to note is, again, we need to have a picture of this MCC, because we can have a single bucket like this, we can have a double bucket like this one, where we have to grab both up and below. For this type of bucket right here, there's only one attachment point, so we only have to have a single operator on this to be able to operate it. Okay, so that's one of the things to note about the operation, is pictures of what you got matter. Okay, let me turn this off. I'm going to move the bucket extractor back, and we're going to look at one last item, which is the ABL1 for the smaller Allen Bradley. Now, some of the things to note is Allen Bradley 2100 bucket systems with the plastic handles have three different actuators that they take. So they have what's called a main. I'm just going to move this back here towards the middle. Go ahead. Yep. I'll grab my battery here for a second. But they have a main, they have a size 5, and they have a size 1 through 4. The size 1 through 4 is 98%. Move this a little bit more. Yeah. The size 1 through 4 is 98% of the buckets. The likelihood that you're going to see a size 5, I've been doing this for 16 years. I've seen 3 of them. Okay, it stands out. But then the main is a bigger handle. So that's one of the things to understand, is we need to see what you have to figure out that you have just the size 1 through 4, which is like what this is, or whether you actually have a size 5 somewhere hidden in there, and then the mains. So there are 3 different ones total for what you have in the ArcSafe. I want to say the 71A is what handles the size 5. That's what we have for you there. So this one's currently in the open position. So we hold this down, we get our little yellow light, we go on. Okay. And then we go off. Okay. And that's how that sets up, and that's how that operates. Then we go back to sleep. And again, the questions are, please send them the questions to info@cbsarcsafe.com, or send your pictures rather also to info@cbsarcsafe.com, or give us a call at 1-877-472-3389. What Jonathan didn't say is he and the other people in our engineering shop literally developed something new for everybody once a week. So we went from having 5 products back by December of 2008 when we first were open to over 800 products today, because somebody like you needs a solution set. If we don't have something, if you don't see it on our product finder online, don't be afraid to ask us, because we actually have, I think, 2,300 products we've quoted to people around the world to help them solve problems that they have. And that's what we're working to do, is give you a viable solution set to keep you and your electrical workers safe. I'm going to open it up for questions now and just step back. So, do we have anything there, Kyle? Okay. We'll give you guys a couple more minutes to ask. Okay. I'd like to thank everybody once again for tuning in to our December 25 holiday presentation for Rockwell automation type products. My name is Greg Davis, and again, info@cbsarcsafe.com or 1-877-472-3389. Thank you and have a great weekend.